Something we don't get to say very often. Happy Monday, Oaklawn race fans. Nancy Holthus joined alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman. We have a special Makeup Monday. This was originally carded on January 30th, so we just put a new date on it. And that's why we are here today.
How easy is that?
I know.
With modern technology, anything's possible.
Yes, it is. We've proven that.
Just take that computer entry for Thursday and move it on to Monday.
I like it. So it does give everybody an opportunity to finally get a chance to run. And several on today's card the races have been canceled once or even twice. So finally getting a chance to get these thoroughbred athletes out and compete in a great 9-race card that we have in store. But first, let's take a look at the weather. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous today. Currently 61. That is going to go nowhere but up. Winds out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour. We do have a fast track and partly sunny skies. Absolutely perfect racing conditions. A good day yesterday for some of our connections as we take a look at our news page. It was a very good day for trainer Ron Moquette, who had a training double, and an even better day for apprentice Tyler Bacon, who made 3 trips to the winner's circle. No racing on the big game day, but you can still come out and join us at Mainline Sports. And Dawn at Oaklawn starts Saturday, February 15th. And I'm going to make announcement for the very first time. Nobody knows this, but I'm going to extend the invitation to you, Mr. Matt Dinnerman, to be my very first guest this season for Dawn at Oaklawn.
Sign me up. What an honor to be the first guest.
I think that's...
Thank you.
Fans want to get a chance to learn more about you, and I want to hear some baseball stories.
Okay.
I definitely want to hear some baseball stories.
Because last year we talked racing-centric stories.
Yes.
Baseball... Okay.
Yes, and your upbringing in Southern California and your summer at Monmouth, because a lot's happened since you and I have had a chance to sit down. Yes, it has, and now you've got the new podcast. So remind fans again where they can watch the podcast.
Well, it's on YouTube. Out of the starting gate, we are having Jose Santos Jr. this week as our guest. Jockey agent, has many jockeys.
Yes, he does.
I think 8 or 9.
He's global.
He's global. He's got a lot of frequent flyer miles, surely. And we're going to go over a number of different things. And this week, we're going to talk about some other big races around the country.
Oh, nice.
It's called Out of the Starting Gate. You can go on Oaklawn's YouTube page. We've got 2 episodes up there already. Recaps, handicapping. Hopefully, down the road, we can do some more fun, different types of things. And it's been going good. We've got good viewership and good feedback.
I like that. And it's a great addition to our Oaklawn YouTube page as well. Let's go ahead and dive right into the 9-race card. Race number 1 is also the first leg of the early 50-cent Pick 5. Really good returns on our Pick 5s this year. Do have a scratch of the number 6, Cry If I Want To, and Make the Jockey on Crystal Symphony, Alberto Pusack. Many exit the same last out back on January 3rd for this non-2 12.5 claiming for fillies and mares 4 and up, and they are going to go 1 mile and a 16th in distance. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Monday opener?
Well, I made Royal Laughter my long shot pick of the day, although I printed out the PPs for Thursday, and this runner was 6-1 on the morning line. It is 7-2 on this Monday morning line. So maybe the morning line maker looked and said, I got a second shot here to get this maybe a little more correct. Hopefully we get the 6-1 original, but this runner adds blinkers after last time out being a little farther off the pace than usual and just not really running on in for 12.5. I think second start off a layoff for Cody Rosine, though, could help. And Royal Laughter here for the Rosine barn. Cody wins at 23% with runners second off a break between 45 and 180 days. So I expect this runner to really take a step forward. And also adding the blinkers, Cody Rosine's 20%.
Yeah, really good barn. He does very well throughout the year. I'm going to go a few stalls into the number 4 Evocation. David Jacobson legging up jockey Ricardo Santana. One thing I've learned about David Jacobson, I think he's a Deadhead. You know what that is?
I don't know.
It's a huge Grateful Dead fan.
I figured it would be something along Grateful Dead.
Yeah. I heard he's a huge Grateful Dead fan, which is.
I'm assuming
I like him that much more if he's a Deadhead. Yeah, pretty cool.
Are you a Deadhead?
I've been known to appreciate the Grateful Dead, and Derek, our main guy from International Sound, actually saw the Grateful Dead at the Sphere in Vegas. and it was one of the greatest concerts he's ever been to, and he's been to a lot.
Yeah, and the Sphere apparently is supposedly an amazing
Whether
experience.
it's for sports, they've held UFC in there, and the concerts, they say, are absolutely spectacular.
I'm going to talk to Wayne and Lewis, see if we can get our own Sphere at some point. It might take us a few years to fund for that.
It might look like one of those crystal globes, or those what are those called? The snow globes?
Right.
That might be the closest thing to a Sphere that we can
I'm sure
get.
Lewis, as long as it's not next to the house over
Exactly,
there. I'm sure
exactly.
You'd think of that.
But I am going to go with the number 4 Evocation. Ran into some traffic last out when running second. Did break the maiden at a mile and a 16th, and is just one of 2 in the field with a victory at today's distance. Also does race second off the claim for the Jacobson Barn, who is 16% with those with that statistic. Moving on to race number 2. This is the first leg of the early 50-cent pick 4. This is for 3 and up, maiden claiming 12,500. Arkansas breds repping for the maiden 20. There's some pros in here, but also more lightly raced runners, as they will go 1 mile in distance in a full field of 12.
A full field of 12, and I don't love the post position for my horse, but I do like the fact that this colt here, Love and Lights, number 10, ran a pretty darn good race on debut, was well behind, and really took a while to get into stride early, and then he came with a big run and ran third and galloped out well. This runner has a bunch of European pedigree, interestingly enough, so you would think turf, but trainer Kenny McPeak saying it's time to go to the lower levels, because just watching this horse's training, clearly he wasn't quite good enough to run in a turf race here. And they don't run turf mean 12-5 races at a place like the fairgrounds. So Love and Lights has to try the dirt here and getting to the route game. I think this horse will like routing, and Kenny McPeak 18% with second-time starters. So his horses, very often we see them take a step forward with a race under their belt. So I think this runner will like the route today.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the outside post, but it's something also advertised. The sire of Love and Lights is 25% with runners second time out. So definitely a very strong
That's a heck
stat.
of a stat.
Yeah, big time numbers. I'm going to go a little further to the inside with the number 2 Royal Court. This is my long shot play of the day. Or no, it's not my long shot play. I'm sorry. That's later in the card. Shea Stewart and Alberto Pusac team up here. Is a professional maiden, making the 16th career start, but has hit the board in 8 of those prior efforts. Could have certainly needed that last race when coming off of a bit of a freshening. May not have cared for the synthetic at Turfway Park, but did face Maiden Special Weight Company at a mile and a quarter. And if you look right around the mile, was only 2 lengths off of the winner, so wasn't beaten for much weight. Let me read this note again. Wasn't beaten much for Way Tougher, and is going to shorten up. It's when you have the handwriting of a serial killer, it's hard to read sometimes.
I'm surprised you would know what the handwriting of the serial killer looks like.
Don't you know that women, for some reason, are obsessed with like crime podcasts and murder podcasts? I don't know why that is, but the statistic of people that listen to those, I like them. Like when I'm traveling, like when I'm driving in the car or something, or
Dateline NBC podcast.
Oh, that's the best.
But
that's
you don't
Keith
want to
Morrison's voice is just haunting.
And Lester Holt, they're both. But Keith Morrison, he's like Morgan Freeman in my eyes.
Oh, that's a great comparison. That's a really good comparison.
I wouldn't want to listen to these true crime things more than like a couple nights in a row where I start getting paranoid.
Might alter your dreams a little bit.
I'm the same way. Big fan of that.
Race number 3 is for maiden claiming $25,000, and it is for 3-year-olds and up. Another group hoping to get their picture taken for the very first time today, and do want to announce that jockey Rafael Bejarano is on the number 3 AWOL.
There you go, a good rider to have aboard, and I'm picking a horse that's got a bit of a dark name, Dr. Storm.
There we go.
That could be like a fictional serial killer.
Yeah, it does.
Dr. Storm.
Sounds like a Marvel character or something, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Dr. Storm, this runner didn't run a step last time out off a 3.5-month layoff for maiden 50, in for 30 today. But take a look at these stats for Greg Compton. This is pretty incredible. When he freshens up horses between 31 and 60 days after they last ran from a 60-horse sample, he wins at 30%. That's
impressive.
Phenomenal. And then if you look at the second start off a layoff between 45 and 180 days from a 25-horse sample, Greg is 28%. So the statistics alone indicate this horse will improve. And on the class drop, I think it's going to help him. And I don't even think Julian Leparoux last time out in the last quarter of a mile, not necessarily his fault not knocking him, but I think he knew he wasn't going to win and he just wrapped
up.
He didn't really try on him the final quarter mile. So if he gets an effort this time, if Julian's in position to say, okay, we have a shot to run well here, and he gives an effort, I think this horse can run faster, and the stats indicate he can run better. So I think this horse is a major look.
I love this horse today as well.
Oh, wow.
And if you look who Dr. Storm was facing in the first couple of career starts, you've got Most Wanted, who wound up to next out win the Ellis Park Derby, and then most recently the Grade 3 Oklahoma Derby. And then second time out, faced Kinetic. That name should sound familiar because Kinetic did win our General MacArthur overnight stakes not too far back. So, yeah, I absolutely love Dr. Storm today. And now that we see 6-1 on the morning line, might not get that.
Doubt it with us two picking.
Doubt it with us two
Everybody
picking.
At Rockies is writing down the
Well, you know what's so
selection.
funny? When we were talking about Queen Wilhelmina, and I mentioned Wilhelmina State Park, I had 6 people text me all of the details of Queen Wilhelmina State Park. So that just I'm like, wow.
We don't need Wikipedia. We got our
but I'm
fans
like, people
here.
really do watch the show. So I always just think, oh, no, nobody, we're just on. But people really do listen to what we say.
Thank you to the fans.
Yes, thank you to our viewers. We do need you, or else we're out of a job. Race number 4 is for Arkansas bred fillies and mares. Claiming price of $12,500, and they will sprint 6 furlongs in distance. Finally get their day to run after races being canceled once or even twice for this group of 12.
And Pattern Bet is going to be my pick in here. Has great form and makes her first start for the Cipriano Contreras barn. Sippy 20% with runners making their first start for his barn. This runner was an easy winner at Parks, going 6.5 furlongs last time out. In Arkansas bred, I love that they figure out a way to get this horse back to Oaklawn because you're running for good purses and you can run in a restricted race here. This runner last time out won for open and didn't have a great trip. Bobbled badly at the break. Was real keen to go on behind horses and still won easily. So this runner had every chance to disappoint and she didn't. Good form, going to a good trainer. I think the stars align for her to run another good race and continue that good form.
Yeah, I'm on Pattern Bet as well. Was a winner when facing Arkansas breds last time and has won off of a similar freshening. Big fan of Sippy Contreras and Manny Esquivel, his nephew, in the iron. So it's a nice little family affair for the Contreras barn.
We see that a lot in horse racing.
Yes, we do.
Which
is
definitely,
fantastic,
by the way.
Yeah, and who knows, Matt, maybe you'll have a child that will be a track announcer or a trainer or vet or who knows.
Maybe.
You never know.
I'm just going to tell them to be safe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing I would tell them.
We're going to take a quick break here on this Monday edition of Oaklawn Today, and when we come back, race 5, which is the first leg of our late 50-cent pick 5. We'll be right back.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Hey Oaklawn, you're just a swipe away from a prize. Every Friday and Sunday of live racing, You can insert your driver's license at the swipe stations located throughout the racing side. Just look for the blinking LED lights at each swipe station and follow the on-screen instructions for a successful swipe. 1 in 3 will win a random prize for free or discounted items, which will be redeemable at the racing gift shop and select concession stands. But that's not all you can win. You can win free race bets of $2, $5, or $10, redeemable at the mutual teller. Don't miss out on this opportunity to win exciting prizes at Oaklawn. Remember, you can't win if you don't swipe.
Thank goodness we no longer show our show on Facebook Live when we would people could see what we did during the commercials.
Oh,
because
they could.
We could. So yeah, our convos are probably, what is that? NSFW, not safe for work.
So I would say our MVP every show is Cody and our folks behind the scenes.
Yes.
Not only because they just do a great job, but also because they mute our microphones during the commercial break.
Thank
And that's a good thing.
Or we think they do. So far, we haven't gotten
I'm
in trouble
sure
just
everybody
yet.
in Rockies and everyone watching going, what are you talking about? What were you guys talking about? Trust me, you don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Race number 5, as I said, is our first leg of our late 50-cent pick 5 on this special Monday program. Do have 2 scratches of numbers 1 and 3 in this restricted $10,000 claiming non-winners of a race since June 30th, or excuse me, non-winners of 3 or non-winners of a race since June 30th. They're going to go a mile, and many in this group are actually looking for their first win in 2 or more years. So it's been a while since some have seen the winner's circle.
It has been. Maybe they'll go in the winner's circle, whoever wins this, and go, what are we doing here? Because they haven't been in the winner's circle for a while. But that's why it's good to have a condition like this for horses that are a little bit on the second-itis trail or the in-the-money trail, or they just don't have good form. So this is the right spot for these horses. And I landed on Feathers Road. Now, usually I don't pick a horse that has a bunch of good turf form. But the fact of the matter is this horse is 1 for 5 on the dirt. And the thing is, he hasn't won in a while. He's 2 for 29. So even though he's 1 for 5, he just doesn't win that often. The good news is that this horse's only race as of late going 2 turns, he got a best buyer that we've seen from a long time from him, and he lost by a neck. It was as close to ever as he has been to winning. He's a son of Quality Road, so there's dirt pedigree there for sure. And I think just getting back to the route game here, second off the break for David Jacobson. He did not run well last time out for 35 non-3. Now he's in a $10,000 very restricted race. So big class drop. I think the route will be good for him, and I think he's a good price at 6-1. If we can hold it, that'd be nice.
I actually scratched into the 4 as my top selection.
There you go.
But yeah, the last win for this runner did come sprinting on the dirt at Saratoga against state-bred first level allowance runners. So yeah, it's kind of been knocking at the door. In the last race, even though did run 10th, was only beaten just about 7 lengths in distance, and that was after getting away slowly. So hopefully can maybe get a cleaner trip out of the starting gate today and maybe be a little bit closer to the pace. But yeah, there's a couple horses on today's card that have some pretty decent turf pedigree that are going to be racing here today.
And they're running on a fast track. Sometimes with these turf pedigree horses, they take to the mud or the slop, which is interesting. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but not today. We got a nice fast track out there.
Yes, we do.
So,
and
but
sunny
also
skies.
look at the pedigree. If you see a horse that has a lot of turf pedigree and they're by Quality Road, for example, that gives me a little more confidence.
I like that. Agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Race number 6 kicks off our first leg of the late 50-cent pick 4. This is a non-winners of 2 for the fillies and mares, Arkansas bred, and $30,000 is the claim price, sprinting 6 furlongs. And there's a little bit of everything in here. Horses stepping up, get some class relief, and also runners returning to the state-bred ranks.
Exactly, which makes for an interesting handicapping puzzle. I was going to say the exact same thing, just a lot of horses trying different things here. Fly Like the Wind is my pick. Last time out actually didn't run all that bad at this type of level and was actually 46-1 off a layoff and only lost by a couple lengths. Got a real good speed figure. The best speed figures that this horse has run is about that, and I think that's good enough to win. So this mare is going to have to show us that she can run back-to-back good speed figures like that. But second start off the break for Johnny Ortiz, who's about 17%, second off a layoff, especially a long one. I think this runner has a right to improve in a race where there are no world beaters. So I'll take Fly Like the Wind. And hopefully she does fly like the wind to the winner's circle.
Yeah, Matt's second choice is my top choice, and that is the number 7, Timbavati, coming from the barn of Lindsay Schultz, Fernando Jara in the irons. came home in a very quick 1:10-4 last out when facing tougher open 50 starter allowance runners. That might have been a little bit quick off the layoff. That was about a 5-month freshening between the prior race. So does get not only class relief in condition, but also dropping in for the tag and state bred. So has been tougher, has been competitive versus tougher if you look back on this 5-year-old mare's form, and does have a local win, the lone win that she has produced in her career. So we'll see what happens in race number 6, but race number 7 is a 12-5 starter allowance for fillies and mares. Horses that have started for a claiming price of $12,500 or less in 23-24 and have not won 2 races since July 30th. So nice little way to do some handicapping if you're very big into those conditions. And it's a competitive group, many hitting the board in their last out, and they are going to sprint, I think, very quickly the 6 furlong distance.
I think they will too. And all good claiming trainers, Nancy, take advantage of conditions with horses. Every single one of them. Every track I've been to, when you look at claiming trainers, or even just like Steve, he's not a claiming trainer, but he is because he has so many horses. But he takes advantage of conditions. All of the good trainers that are claiming trainers take advantage of conditions. I said that 4 times to just get it in your head.
It is definitely a thing. But people, that's part of the being a good trainer, is knowing how to read the condition book and where to place your horses.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's half the battle. You can lose a race at the entry box just not putting them in the right spot.
That is very true.
If you are a human athlete and you are placed in a group with runners that can run a 6-minute mile and the best you can do is 7, you're not winning.
Right.
If you place yourself in a race where most of the par time is 7 minutes, 15 seconds, you have a chance to win.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. And noting all this, American Band number 10 is taking advantage of her conditions
100%.
very much so. This runner, of course, was the winner of the Matron Stakes last year here at Oaklawn. 7 for 9 at Oaklawn with 2 seconds. So if you want to talk about a runner who is showing she wants to be a Hot Springs native for life, it's American Band. An American Band last time out, off a layoff for John Horan. She won at this type of level and won easily with just dueling on the lead and just kept going. The fact of the matter is John's horses have really taken a step forward second off the layoff here. So the fact that she ran as well as she did last time, that was huge for me. I thought she ran a huge race, and I think today, in a better spot outside, she's going to be able to get a good trip here. I think American Band's the one.
Yeah, she's my top pick of the day. American Band can and has been known to put wins together, 3-4 wins. She's quick, but doesn't have to have the lead. And the fact she won from the far outside post last time, it seems like the older she gets, the quicker she gets out of the starting gate, because she is just wanting to get to that finish line first. And I love a good horse for course, and that is exactly what American Band is. So who knows? Maybe we'll see her in the Matron again this year.
Maybe. I think John Horan would be game to do it. He's willing to take a stab with some of these stakes
why
races.
Not? Absolutely, especially for the money that is given away here in Hot Springs.
And he owns this mare.
That's even better. That's a good handicapping angle, too, when they're owner-trainer, because sometimes you could be a little more competitive with entries in the box as opposed to, you know, maybe an owner not wanting to drop their horse in for a tag or not drop them to a certain level. So, I mean, you do have to listen to the owners because ultimately they pay the bills. So, race number 8 is our feature on the afternoon. This is a non-2 allowance condition, 4-year-olds and up, and they are going to go 1 mile and 1/8 in distance. Instead of a scratch of the number 5, a touch of glam. Many stepping up after racing for the tag last out as well.
You know, I didn't have a strong opinion on this race, Nancy. I picked Bedard, but again, not with a strong opinion. I don't typically love horses coming off of layoffs. This one, 3.5 months, going 1 mile and 1/8, picking them, especially at a low price. But comes out of a maiden race in which there were 2 next out winners. This runner actually was a maiden and tried racing in the Prince of Wales, which is at Fort Erie and part of the Canadian Triple Crown
Series.
Series
That middle leg.
Last year in that race, guess what? Was the only race besides that Keeneland race on dirt, and this gelding ran 3rd. Son of Nyquist here, bought this horse for a good chunk of change, $210,000 after that maiden score was up for purchase at Keeneland, and Fleury Racing Stables and Partners took this horse at Keeneland, now in the barn of Brad Cox. That's the key for me. Brad Cox will get get horses fit off of layoffs no matter what distance. He's sort of like a Bob Baffert in that respect. Certain things like off of layoffs, conditioning, all those things, that gets sort of thrown off the table with these types of trainers that train hard and get them fit and ready to go. So Bedard, I think, is the best horse in this race. Gives up a little bit of experience, but I don't think this is the strongest non-2 race, in all honesty. I look at these types of conditions and can compare them, and I've seen some stronger races than this. So if he's fit and he runs back to his dirt races, I think he's good enough to win.
Yeah, Bedard for me as well does get Christian Torres, and Brad's not only good getting horses off a layoff, but also this runner actually debuts for the Cox Barn. He fires at 37% when sending new acquisitions out of the starting gate. This horse has actually been entered 5 times before today and was either on the also eligibles or we canceled the races because of weather conditions. So finally getting the opportunity to run today, and they're hoping that this is a winning one. And I'm kind of like you, Matt. I didn't have a strong standpoint on this runner, but because of the class, and did run a really good race at Fort Erie, and the fact that broke the maiden at the distance at a mile and a 16th at Keeneland definitely gives this runner just a little bit more clout than some of the others in the group. Race number 9, the finale for this 4-day race week, is non-winners of 2, $30,000 claim price, and it is for fillies and mares, and they'll bring it home in 6 furlongs. Many return after facing similar in their last start, and we did have 2 scratches of numbers 3 and 7.
This is another race where I didn't have a strong opinion. Late daily double, I just don't have strong opinions on it. Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that it seems to be. Sometimes that is the way the card goes. You know, It's just because there's just nothing that you're super excited about.
Especially as a public handicapper like we are, Nancy. If we pick every single race at the meet, there are going to be races where you don't have as strong opinions as others, and that's just how it goes. But Musical Prayer is my top pick, and I will say this: I've seen this a lot with my picks, Nancy, where the ones when I don't have the strongest opinion, usually they win for some reason. So maybe this is a good sign. Musical Prayer, off a claim by Steve Asmussen, who took this horse for $30,000 non-2, ran 3rd on synthetic. This horse lost a lot of ground last time out, and I think this is going to help get into the dirt. Hopefully with a better trip can run better. 4 months off last time out this horse was running in that race off of that vacation, and second start off the break could run even better, getting back to dirt. This horse has good dirt form. This mare here, I should say, Musical Prayer, she's going to be my pick.
Yeah, she's my top pick as well. Barn does well off the purchase, and good effort off that freshening last go. Proven on the dirt, in the money 5 of 6, and also 4 of 5 in the money at the 6 furlong distance. So Matt and I having the same late daily double, and we'll see how that pans out. And it's interesting, Matt, like just a quick question. When you go to a racetrack as a fan, like when I do, I don't handicap every single race. I'll pick a few that I do have a stronger opinion on.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, if you're betting every single race, every single day, your chances of winning aren't very high.
Right.
So what my suggestion would be, especially for new horse players, is find the horses and the races that you have the strongest opinion on and go for it.
Yeah.
Because that's your biggest chance of winning, is by doing it that way. And I would say that they're also the most successful horse players are the ones that focus on specific circuits, even, Nancy.
That's very
If
good
you're
point.
betting Tampa and then 5 minutes later Gulfstream and then Oaklawn and then
like
Santa Anita, it's hard.
Yeah,
It is a potluck,
it
and
is
maybe
hard.
you get lucky, but it's hard. But if you know your horses, your circuit, trainer patterns, the strengths of the jockeys
That's
and the
huge
weaknesses
right
of the
there.
jockeys, you have a little bit of advantage, because at the end of the day, although you're playing with friends, you're also playing against friends. Everybody's playing against each other. That's what parimutuel wagering is. You're playing against everybody else, and you're rewarded if you get it right, as opposed to all the people that don't.
Yeah.
So you want as many advantages as you can get, and a big advantage is knowing your circuit.
And watching Oaklawn Today.
Yes, and watching Nancy and I hopefully give you some winners.
Hopefully give you some
which
winners.
has sort of been like a back and forth deal this week.
It
for
kind of
us.
has, yeah, for sure. But we're not done, because we still have to show you our $20 show bet bonus parlay tickets, our top long shot play of the day, and our top pick. Matt starts a little bit later in the card with Pattern Bet, and goes to American Band, Bedard, and Musical Prayer. I'm going to go to the opener with Evocation, Dr. Storm, Pattern Bet, and also American Band. Matt's long shot play of the day is in the opener. A good way to maybe continue to play that show bet bonus parlay ticket with the number 7 Royal Laughter. And I'm going to go with Dr. Storm. Not sure he's going to be a long shot after he is both of our top selections. Top pick of the day, sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. The standout, we both took a firm stand on this runner, and that is American Band for the Barn of John Horan in race number 7. Do want to remind everybody that live racing will resume on Friday with just a 2-day race week. Friday and Saturday, no racing on the day of the big game. I am getting some action on the squares and some prop plays with Oaklawn Sports. And you doing anything special for the big game?
No plans yet, but that will change.
That will change.
We're going to have to find a party to go to. It's the same as Christmas, New Year's. I was party hopping. Didn't get invited till 3-4 days in advance, maybe even 24 hours.
Some people, and that's kind of a racetrack thing. You tend to extend those invites, and people says, you know what, nobody's doing anything. Let's all get together.
I tried to have something last year, and it sort of halfway developed.
Yeah.
But I got some good advice from a very wise man who says, maybe do something on a day where not everybody's competing for the party.
That's very true.
I'm going to just be a party goer.
I like that. And that way you don't have to clean up.
For sure. And hopefully it'll be nice enough to where I can wear my short sleeves.
Oh, I think
this is the first short sleeve race day of the meet, Nancy. Our weather is fantastic.
Yeah, this is the first day I'm able to not wear tights or leggings because it is just a little bit chilly. So yeah, very excited for the warm weather. Any plans on your dark days?
Well, we're going to be doing our Out of the Starting Gate podcast.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to be filming tomorrow, and that should be on YouTube Thursday or Friday. And maybe going golfing because the weather's
very nice.
Yeah, my clubs have been sort of sitting in the house.
What's your handicap?
I don't have a handicap yet because I don't have big enough sample size. I just got into it. It's been a bit sporadic too. I could probably, like on a score alone on a good day, golf like 90.
That's pretty good to break 90.
Yeah,
that's really
that's on
good.
Like a super good day. Like I'm not that good, but I'm getting better. So.
Are you better driving or putting?
It depends on the day.
It depends
That's
on
the
the
hard
day.
thing.
And how the course is playing probably too.
Say that again.
And how the course is playing.
Yeah, I mean if there's a lot of wind or maybe there's still a little bit of wet ground from rain prior days. But I'll say this, that's the hard thing about golf is it's like one part of your game you feel great and you say, okay, we're going to have a good day. And then the next part of your game is all over the place. Typically my driving is better because I can hit it far. So if I get a good drive in, I'm closer to the hole. It's that, chipping. It's that 100-yard little push that maybe I sail it over the green.
I don't mind golfing, but it's when the windmill just knocks the ball away.
Yeah. That's mini golf.
I know. That's it.
But it's fun. We should have like a mini golf for the jockeys or
I've thought about that before.
Yeah.
I have so thought about that before, and I think that would be so fun. Either that or bowling. Doing something just out of the ordinary, get them out of the room and raise money for a good
and bowling's
cause.
fun. But mini golf and bowling are the two great activities that you can do as a family with your friends.
And you can still be very competitive.
Oh, for sure.
I'm a very sore loser.
I'm the same way. I get pretty upset.
Nobody likes to lose.
Especially if there's like a few gutter balls in a row. I'm not going to be too thrilled.
Yeah, I need a game to warm up, typically.
Are you like the one type of person that has the lanes up where it doesn't go in the gutter? Or do you
if I bowl with, like sometimes we've had foster children, if I bowl with the kids, then we'll put the bumpers up. And then I bowl my greatest score ever.
Right.
But typically it does take me a game or so to warm up. I wish we had duck pin bowling in Hot Springs. It is one of the most fun things I've ever done, and it's competitive and it's easy and it's just fun to do.
Hopefully someone from City Council is watching today. Maybe they can
bring us a duck pin bowling lane.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. All right, that's enough chit chat. We're going to sign off, and for Matt Dinnerman, I am Nancy Holthus. You'll see Matt up in the announcer's booth, me down in the paddock, but we thank you for joining us on this special Monday edition of Oaklawn Today.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching and wagering on Oaklawn Park. Folks, without further ado, we now ask you to please rise and remove your cap for the playing of our nation's anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can now get out your pens, pencils, and programs because we now have today's changes. Here they come. Our track condition listed as fast today. Partly sunny skies, 63 degrees currently, and it's supposed to warm up. Winds, southwest winds coming in. Again, our track condition is fast. Here come the changes. In the first race today, scratch number 6. Cry If I Want To. Number 6, Cry If I Want To, scratched out of race 1. Also in the first race, we have a rider change. Make the jockey on number 1, Crystal Symphony, Alberto Puzak. Alberto Puzak riding number 1, Crystal Symphony in race 1. Jockey Martin Garcia off his 2 mounts this afternoon. Also in race 1, number 3, Blue Ember is 1 pound overweight. The first race begins the early pick 5. The second race starts the early pick 4 sequence. Scratch number 13, Enigma Code. Enigma Code out of race number 2. That's the 13, the also eligible. Number 1, Kavanaugh is 4 pounds overweight. And number 9, Golden Light, 1 over. The third race on the card, we have a jockey change there. Make the rider on number 3, AWOL, Rafael Bejarano. Rafael Bejarano rides number 3, AWOL, in race 3 today. Turning your programs to race number 4, we're clear. No changes in the fourth race. Over in the fifth race on the card, we have 2 scratches. Number 1, Cat Daddy is out, and scratch number 3, Life is Hard. Numbers 1 and 3, both scratched out of race 5. Race 5 begins the late pick.